PR Connections Radio presents.
Hello, Golden Knights fans and everyone watching all around the world. Welcome to Vegas Hockey Hub here on PRConnectionsRadio.com, the voice of new media. I'm your host, Ian Rachiele. And what a fantastic show we have planned for everybody tonight, as we're going to be doing a recap of the Vegas Golden Knights Winnipeg Jets game that happened at T-Mobile Arena at the Fortress. What a fantastic game that was. But before we get into it, just a reminder, go to PRConnectionsRadio.com, the voice of new media. Check out all the content they have on there, about a dozen shows on the network. Amazing content on PRConnectionsRadio.com. If you want to go to the YouTube channel, PR Connections Radio at PR Connections, there is a bunch of amazing content we have on there as well. We upload every single day to the PR Connections Radio YouTube channel. So I will say to everyone watching all around the world, if you want to subscribe to the network, that would help everybody out. Not just Vegas Hockey Hub, but all the shows on the network. If you want to go to the Vegas Hockey Hub YouTube channel, we upload content every single day to the Vegas Hockey Hub YouTube channel. So if you want to like and share this video to all your friends and everyone all around the world, I would recommend going to the YouTube channel and liking and sharing would be much appreciated. As well, if you want to go to all of our social medias, we are on all major platforms here on Vegas Hockey Hub. I'm your host, Ian Rachiele. We are at Vegas Hockey Hub on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We are everywhere at Vegas Hockey Hub. As well, if you want to subscribe to your host, I am right down here at Ian Rachiele18. That is my Twitter handle. If you wanted to follow me on social media, at Ian Rachiele18. So as we're getting into the Vegas Golden Knights Winnipeg Jets recap here on Vegas Hockey Hub on PR Connections Radio, what an incredible game that was. There was some stuff that happened pre-game, however, that we do want to discuss. First, a little congratulations to Vegas Golden Knights forward Nicholas Waugh on his engagement. We finally found out why he was not with the team, and it was sure enough to get engaged. So congratulations to Nick Waugh on his engagement. We had that news break before the game kicked off. It was on all social media. So yeah, congratulations. Vegas Golden Knights forward Nicholas Waugh on his engagement. Good for him. At least we know that he will be back soon and soon enough. You also have a lineup change as William Carrier and Kanan Korczak are out for the previous game, and Braden Bahal and Jonas Roundbeer were in. Now, the interesting part about it was Braden Bahal and Kanan Korczak was announced way ahead of time. All right? Way ahead of time. Braden Bahal was going to be in. Korczak was going to be out. We knew this in the practices. There was a lot of stuff that came out hours before. But what was interesting was a half hour before the Winnipeg game, William Carrier was all of a sudden announced as out. And Jonas Roundbeer was quickly recalled from Henderson. Now, some people said a long time ago that Vegas having Henderson was a blessing in disguise. I'm going to say this was a huge part of it. The fact that Jonas Roundbeer got called up literally less than an hour before game time, goes to Vegas, suits up, and plays on the fourth line is remarkable. Now, we have speculation that William Carrier had an illness, that he was sick. That's why he didn't play in the game. But as somebody who was at the game, it was really interesting how not even an hour before game time, you had the quick announcement on social media that Jonas Roundbeer was called up and William Carrier was out. So that was a very interesting moment. The fact that Jonas Roundbeer quickly was called up from Henderson because William Carrier was out. It's speculated due to an illness. And in net for the Vegas Golden Knights is the Calgary, Alberta native, Logan Thompson. And Logan Thompson has been perfect for the Vegas Golden Knights this year. I mean, Logan Thompson has been incredible for Vegas. There's no doubt about it. Logan Thompson is one of the best backup goalies in the NHL. This guy was an all-star last year, and it shows why he was an all-star last year. I mean, just incredible work by Logan Thompson. If it hadn't been for Jonathan Marchessault and what he did in net, for what he did by putting the puck in the back of the net, Logan Thompson would have been player of the game. He was just remarkable tonight. And speaking of Logan Thompson, as we're getting into it, he is 5-0 on the year. Logan Thompson is 5-0, a goals against average of 2.17, and a save percentage over 93%. If that doesn't tell you how good Logan Thompson has been this year, I don't know what is. So Logan Thompson, 5-0 to begin the year, has not lost a game yet for your Vegas Golden Knights. So got to give props to Logan Thompson, the Calgary, Alberta native, doing incredible work. And as the game gets started for your Vegas Golden Knights, there was some good movement back and forth, some good offensive chances by the Vegas Golden Knights. But it wasn't until 10 minutes into the first period where Wild Bill, William Karlsson, with goal number 4 on the season. Now, Ben Hutton, Pavel Dorofeyev with a nice setup there to make it a 1-0 game. But let's talk about William Karlsson for just a second. What a career resurgence he has had the last 2 years. Now, people are going to look at William Karlsson being on the bottom 6 as a downer. You know, this was a guy who was a top-line center for the Vegas Golden Knights at one point. You know, he was a first-line center, the best player on the Golden Knights to begin the franchise. Now he's on the bottom 6. Most people would consider that a downgrade. Most people would consider that a negative, that you went from line 1 to now line 3. But I think that William Karlsson has taken it as a challenge. Because so far, William Karlsson, just this season, has 9 assists, 4 goals, and a +9. William Karlsson leads the entire Golden Knights in points. And I'm going to make the argument that in this season, the first 11 games, nobody has been more impactful on offense than William Karlsson. There has been nobody who is a MVP in the first 11 games, unlike William Karlsson. William Karlsson has been the best player Vegas has had this year. And it's just incredible how William Karlsson, on the bottom 6, playing with Amadio, playing with Dorofeyev, played with Paul Cotter. He has had different line mates this year as well. It doesn't matter. He has been scoring, and he has been moving the puck around for the Vegas Golden Knights. In fact, here's a little statistic for you on William Karlsson. William Karlsson right now is on a 8-game point streak. All right? William Karlsson has scored in the last 8 games. That could be a goal, could be assist, don't matter. The last game that William Karlsson was in that he didn't register a point was in Anaheim on October 14th. Yes, that's correct, folks. It has been almost an entire month since William Karlsson has not registered a point for the Vegas Golden Knights. So, William Karlsson, congratulations to him on an 8-game point streak for the Vegas Golden Knights. I will give props and credit when it's due. William Karlsson has done a stand-up job for the Vegas Golden Knights this year. He is the MVP of this team so far. And I will say on that goal, 4th goal of the year, T-Mobile Arena got loud. They were excited to see William Karlsson light up the lamp. And after the first period, it was a 1-0 game. And you know what? When it came to Winnipeg, when it came to Vegas, in the first period, outside the William Karlsson goal, it was kind of quiet. Now, it wasn't a slow first period. It wasn't like other games they've had. Of course, you had the holding penalty on Marchessault against Forest. You also had the call they had later in the game where William Karlsson had an interference against Dylan Sandberg. But I will say for the Vegas Golden Knights, to start out the period 1-0 was a good opportunity by Vegas. And as you got into period number 2, as we're recapping the Winnipeg Jets and Vegas Golden Knights game here on Vegas Hockey Hub, I'm your host, Ian Rachiele. KC Kyle Connor with his 6th goal of the season for the Winnipeg Jets. Now, Kyle Connor has been a cornerstone of the Winnipeg Jets. He has been one of the best players they have had all year. It was assisted by Alex Iafallo and Mark Scheifele to make it a 1-1 game. And when the Winnipeg Jets, by the way, let's just take it back to the playoffs last year, just for example. Kyle Connor and Mark Scheifele were big parts of that series. But a player that wasn't there yet. A player who was in LA who would get traded to Winnipeg this offseason was a big part of this setup. Alex Iafallo was a good setup guy for this goal on Kyle Connor. So Alex Iafallo has been in a very big upgrade, a good positive for the Winnipeg Jets. So Kyle Connor made a 1-1 game for the Winnipeg Jets and assisted by Iafallo and Scheifele. And then 2 minutes later in the second period, it would ramp up as Mason Appleton from the Winnipeg Jets would get a double minor for high sticking on Vegas Golden Knights' Alec Martinez. Now, to address what happened to Martinez, he gets a high sticking penalty, he gets hit in the face, and he goes straight to the locker room. Now, people were wondering if he was going to be out, was he going to be okay? Well, after a few minutes, Alec Martinez would be back in the game for the Vegas Golden Knights. But yeah, definitely unfortunate situation. After a high sticking by Mason Appleton, Alec Martinez would go into the locker room, but then he would come back a little bit later. So as you would have a double minor, 4-minute penalty for the Winnipeg Jets, that meant your Vegas Golden Knights were on the NV Energy power play. And with a few minutes into that power play, it was 7 minutes into the second period, Jonathan Marchessault with his 4th goal of the season, assisted by Logan Thompson and your captain, Mark Stone. And it made it a 2-1 game for the Vegas Golden Knights, put the advantage back in Vegas's corner. And you know what? Marchessault had a good job getting the puck in the back of the net. Good little wrist shot. But let's talk about Logan Thompson for just a minute. What a setup by Logan Thompson. Like the way you look at this game and you break down the film, and I wish we could play the clip, but we did copyright infringement if we did. Logan Thompson sets up this goal as there was an opportunity to kind of dump and chase the puck by Winnipeg. Thompson collects the puck, looks down the ice, and sees Mark Stone all the way down there. And instead of giving it to the defenseman, who's a few feet away from Logan Thompson, Thompson just passes the puck all the way down the ice to Mark Stone. Mark Stone goes past 1 or 2 defenders, passes to his left to Jonathan Marchessault, and he gets it past Connor Hellebuck for the goal. But such awareness, such IQ by Logan Thompson to instead of giving it to the defenseman and making the easy pass, he makes the hard pass, the long pass to Mark Stone to set up the goal. So yeah, fantastic job by Logan Thompson. Good awareness by him. Stand-up play. And the Vegas Golden Knights are still on the double minor, and not even a minute and a half later, Ivan Barbashev, Barbie, with his 3rd goal of the season, assisted by Alex Pietrangelo and the guy who scored earlier in the game, William Karlsson, to make it a 3-1 affair for the Vegas Golden Knights. And Ivan Barbashev has been an interesting story for the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, I have been critical of Ivan Barbashev on this show before. I'm not going to sit here and deny that. But Ivan Barbashev, 3 goals on the year in 11 games. I wish he could get more assists. That's like my only thing I can come up with. Only 1 assist on the season for Ivan Barbashev. That's something I kind of wish that he would do more often. But Ivan Barbashev to get his 3rd goal of the season for the Vegas Golden Knights made it a 3-1 game for your Vegas Golden Knights. So after having 2 goals on a double minor for the Vegas Golden Knights, after the second period, up by 2 goals on Winnipeg, and it was a good situation. And, you know, as your T-Mobile Arena, you go get your hot dog, you get your Diet Coke, you know, you sit there, you have a bucket of popcorn, maybe you get a pretzel with some cheese, you're unwinding. I like the fact that you also had the mariachi band as well. As somebody who knew that this was going to be Hispanic night for the Vegas Golden Knights, you had the Los Golden Knights, Vamos Knights, Vamos. But when it came to the Vegas Golden Knights, the fact that they had Hispanic night and they actually played Bad Bunny, had J Balvin, I will say as somebody who understands and actually likes that music, I thought it was a nice touch. The fact that they actually had the mariachi band playing, they had all this nice stuff that happened. Even had the poster that I had to bring home as well, because it was just a really nice poster of the Vegas Golden Knights. So just very wanted to quickly mention that in the intermission between second and third period, the fact that they were having the mariachi band and they were playing, Latin music, I would say would be a nice touch by the Vegas Golden Knights. So as he got into period number 3, you also had a goal by who else? The guy I mentioned before, Alex Iafallo, with his 4th goal of the season by the Winnipeg Jets, assisted by Cole Perfetti and Kyle Connor. And this kind of brought the deficit back to 1 for the Winnipeg Jets. There was some opportunity there. I was thankfully able to talk to 2 Winnipeg Jets fans at the game, and they really broke down what Winnipeg was. Re-signing Connor Hellebuck, despite all the rumors in the past offseason, that was a good move. I also appreciate the makeup of the roster. This is a team that utilizes every line in Winnipeg. And you don't see that a lot in the NHL. There's only like 4 or 5 teams off the top of my head that utilizes every single line, where every line has a role and they do it every single game. Winnipeg's one of them. I know Vegas is one of them. Toronto, I know, is one of them. But yeah, there's some teams that utilize every line on their team. And I was really happy to talk to some Winnipeg Jets fans and really get perspective from Winnipeg. And one thing that they did say, by the way, this guy was a Winnipeg Jets fan. He was talking about how many Manitoba guys were playing tonight. He mentioned how Mark Stone is from Manitoba, how Keegan Kolazar is from Manitoba, how Zach Whitecloud, who's not playing but on the roster, is from Manitoba. And it makes a lot of sense when you realize that Kelly McCrimmon owned the Brandon Wheat Kings. And the Brandon Wheat Kings are in Brandon, Manitoba. So it makes a lot of sense when you actually think back that why there's a lot of Manitoba guys on the roster. Because Mark Stone played for the Brandon Wheat Kings. Zach Whitecloud his family was part of the Brandon Wheat Kings. So it makes a lot of sense that when we were talking about how there were so many Manitoba guys on the roster, it made a lot of sense when Kelly McCrimmon used to own a team based in Manitoba in the Brandon Wheat Kings. But yeah, so with 2 minutes into the last period, Alex Iafallo scores for the Winnipeg Jets, made it a 3-2 game for the Vegas Golden Knights. But then 4 minutes later, and oh boy, 4 minutes later, what a great goal this was. As 5 minutes into the third period, Jonathan Marchessault with his 5th goal of the season, assisted by Alex Pietrangelo and Ivan Barbashev. It made a 4-2 game for the Vegas Golden Knights. And yeah, Jonathan Marchessault picking up his 2nd goal of the game, which would be his 5th goal of the season. And Jonathan Marchessault really has become the face of the people. I mean, he has kind of been the guy that everybody here in Vegas likes to watch. And there's a reason for it. Jonathan Marchessault, he won the Conn Smythe last year. But what Jonathan Marchessault is good at, what Jonathan Marchessault is great at, is that he scores goals at the right time, at the right place. He does it time and time again. And the fact that Jonathan Marchessault scores goal number 2 on the night, everybody knew what was coming next. We all knew that every shift that Jonathan Marchessault was on, they were going to get the puck to him. Now, on every shift, Jonathan Marchessault was on the ice for the remaining 14 minutes that he was going to be on the ice. They were going to keep feeding him the puck and feeding him the puck. Because if you can get a hat trick at T-Mobile Arena, at the Fortress, that's going to be special. And sure enough, with a few minutes in the game, A few minutes left in the game for the Winnipeg and Vegas situation. Then you had the empty net for Winnipeg. And as Winnipeg pulls the empty net, the goalie is on the bench. They have an empty net, 6-on-5 for Winnipeg. Jonathan Marchessault with an empty net goal and a hat trick for the Vegas Golden Knights. Made it a 6th goal of the season and had a 5-2 game for the Vegas Golden Knights. And you know what? Jonathan Marchessault scoring the hat trick. Now, I don't wear hats. Otherwise, I would have tossed my hat into the ice. But yeah, definitely a cool moment to have a hat trick for the Vegas Golden Knights, to have a hat trick for Jonathan Marchessault. And I definitely appreciate and I like the fact that Vegas Golden Knights, you have somebody like Jonathan Marchessault who's good at putting the puck in the back of the net. As a matter of fact, for the Vegas Golden Knights, their stats so far this season, the guy who leads the team in goals at this point is Jonathan Marchessault. So William Karlsson leads a team in points, but Jonathan Marchessault leads a team in goals. So Jonathan Marchessault scores half of his goals in one night and made it a 5-2 game for your Vegas Golden Knights. They pick up the win here in Vegas at T-Mobile Arena. Now, I don't have the clip to show you, but there was a tribute video for Laurent Brossoit. Now, anybody who's a Vegas Golden Knights fan, anyone who knows hockey, you will know that Laurent Brossoit was a member of the Vegas Golden Knights the past 2 seasons, 2021, 2022, 2022, 2023. Laurent Brossoit was a big part of the Vegas Golden Knights, especially when guys got hurt. Him being in net was a big deal. So, when Laurent Brossoit signed back with Winnipeg this offseason, in the first game that Winnipeg is back in Vegas, they played a tribute video to Laurent Brossoit, and he was on the bench. Obviously, he gave a wave to everybody, but what a nice moment by Vegas to have a tribute video for Laurent Brossoit. So that was definitely a nice touch. I applaud the Vegas Golden Knights for doing that. Now, the player of the game is well, of course, who could it be? It would be the guy who scored a hat trick in Jonathan Marchessault. And Jonathan Marchessault, an incredible night for him. Amazing for the Vegas Golden Knights. So your Vegas Golden Knights are 10-0-1 to begin the season. What a remarkable season the Vegas Golden Knights are having. They have not had a regulation loss yet for Vegas. So what is next for the Vegas Golden Knights? As we have a few minutes left here on the recap show. What is next for the Vegas Golden Knights? Well, on Saturday, the Colorado Avalanche will be coming to T-Mobile Arena, and they'll be taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. This is arguably the toughest matchup Vegas will have at this point. You know, you took on Dallas early in the season, but right now, the Colorado Avalanche are the best opponent Vegas is going to face so far. And at that Saturday game, Vegas Hockey Hub, your host, Ian Rachiele, will be at the game for Colorado. So I will definitely be there. I will live tweet like I always do. And I will say when it comes to the Colorado Avalanche, that will be at Saturday at T-Mobile Arena. And then Anaheim will be on Sunday on November 5th. Now, I'm actually going to do something a little bit different when it comes to the Anaheim Ducks game. Just because it's a Sunday night, I'm actually going to be doing the recap show around 9 p.m. So for everybody who's watching, I will be doing the Anaheim game, the Sunday night game. I will be doing that at 9 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Central time. The reason for it is because I don't want to delay that one into Monday. I'll be doing that one at Sunday night. So Colorado will be Saturday. Anaheim will be Sunday. They have a couple of days off. Then they're back at the Fortress, and they'll be on primetime TV as Los Angeles will take on the Vegas Golden Knights at the Fortress at T-Mobile Arena next Wednesday on primetime TV. So I will say for the Vegas Golden Knights, they have a tough schedule ahead of them, and I like their opportunities moving forward. And there actually was an injury that we did want to mention. We don't have a card for it, but I will just say it verbally. Chandler Stevenson took a shot up high. And after he took the shot up high, he went to the bench after having some blood coming out of his nose. We kind of saw it. Now, Chandler Stevenson should be fine, but this is something I did want to mention. The fact that Chandler Stevenson did take a shot up high, hopefully it is not a problem long term. But whenever you have a hockey player that gets hit around the face, there's always concern there. So for William Karlsson, for Jonathan Marchessault, Ivan Barbashev, what a good night for them as they scored. Logan Thompson, fantastic in the net for the Vegas Golden Knights. And by the way, here are the statistics for the Vegas Golden Knights 11 games in. William Karlsson has the most points out of the Vegas Golden Knights. He has 13 points in 11 games. You also have Jack Eichel with 10 points on the season. Shea Theodore, 10 points as well. And by the way, the other stand-up guy that you can talk about is Chandler Stevenson and Mark Stone. Chandler Stevenson, 8 points, and Mark Stone with 8 points. So that's really kind of your top 5 right now. William Karlsson, 13. Eichel and Theodore, 10. And Stone and Stevenson with 8. So as we are talking about the Vegas Golden Knights here on Vegas Hockey Hub, I'm your host, Ian Rachiele. And I do want to answer one question because somebody did put it in the chat. I mean, look, anybody who gets let go, they normally have some form of tribute video, but they used to not do it for everybody. Like, I know there was the meme about a week ago where Columbus had a tribute video for Jonathan Quick, even though he never played a formal game in Columbus. But I've always said this before. When a player plays more than a year somewhere, like, for example, Paul Stastny, who retired recently, he would have gotten a tribute video because he played more than 1 year for an organization. So I think the rule of thumb for the person who asked the question is if somebody played more than a season for your team, if somebody played longer than 100 games for the organization, it makes a lot of sense to do a tribute video to kind of welcome them back to the organization. So yeah, I have no problem with it. You know, this isn't like where you have to play 5 years or you can't have it. So I will say to everybody watching, I think the tribute video does make sense when you played more than a year for an organization. So as we are talking about it here on Vegas Hockey Hub, that's the upcoming schedule. And I do have an announcement for tonight. So at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Central Time, we're going to be doing our player profile on Michael Amadio. We have been developing this for a while now, and now we have it done. It is complete. It's going to be uploaded tonight at 8:30 Central Time, 6:30 Pacific Time. So for everybody watching on PR Connections Radio, have that tab saved for tonight as we're going to be discussing and doing a player profile on Michael Amadio. And until next time, I'm your host, Ian Rachiele. This is Vegas Hockey Hub. And until next time, continue watching hockey, go support junior hockey, and go Knights, go!